You've been acting like the queen of California. You've been acting like the queen of California. You've been acting like the queen of California. Let's stop right every time I put it on you.
So is it Marin or Marin?
Welcome to California. So MarinBikes is one of the original Northern California bike brands, started in 1986 by Bob Buckley. And we're one of the last few bicycle brands started in that era in Northern California that's still privately held and exists today. MarinBikes was actually a trademark that Gary Fisher had for a bike shop in, I think in Fairfax. And Bob Buckley bought the trademark from Gary. A lot of the original employees of the brand were sort of icons of the sport. So, I mean, its roots go pretty deep in this area. There were a lot of guys that were building bikes and sort of inventing, downhill racing on dirt. Bob Buckley saw this and realized that this was something that he really enjoyed and he was passionate about. So he formed the company, hired a couple of guys out of bike shops, started making bikes, and, it really caught fire as mountain bikes caught fire. MarinBikes is still really the only brand that came out of this sort of blossoming of the sport that's still alive today.
Is that rear suspension doing anything? Did you know this bike's older than me? That's cool, isn't it? What are these for? I can't actually get my head around that this was the best idea at one time. The FRS stands for front rear suspension. I think that's hilarious, and that kind of proves how groundbreaking this bike really was. They took a fork, a suspension fork, which presumably was fairly new technology, and they said, it feels great up front, why don't we do the same on the rear? So they took a fork and just bolted it to the rear end of the bike. So it should actually be called double forked bike, I don't know. It's great. That room full of people that were writing ideas down and this came out of it must have been an amazing place to be and quite a cool time. This was an invention, it wasn't a development.
When Marin started, it was a hotbed of mountain bikes at the time. It was the spearhead of the sport. I would have to say the most influential bike, if Marin were to have influential bikes, would be their titanium bikes they came out with in the day. Affordable tie bikes for the masses. It was a hardtail at first. Joe Murray raced it, Dave Turner raced it, and that was really the hardtail and the FRS in the day were our most influential bikes. Even though like our Bear Valleys and Palisades trails, we sold in containerfuls and they made us, Bread and butter makes the company, but those were the bikes that really turned heads like, wow, these guys can make good bikes, Enthusiasm really built the sport of mountain biking, and I think we actually carry that through to this day in the company. I've been there 10 years now, and it's changed a lot in the 10 years, but it's still Marin Bikes, and it's still Marin County. We have something on the down tube that says Marin. There's other bikes that say a lot of names on there, might not mean much. We have Marin County. It's the home of mountain bikes, baby, Who's got that? Nobody. We got that. We're in it for the fun and the experience and the ride, along the way, You can't take it with you when you go, but man, while you're going, have some fun, for sure.
You know, the brand was in distress. I mean, it wasn't financially viable. And so they started looking for a buyer, and luckily for them, you know, the shareholders were looking to make an investment in cycling. So they're passionate about bikes. They're in the bicycle industry. But what I saw in Marin was, you know, this amazing history just kind of went to sleep a little bit. And I thought, you know, with some energy and hard work and effort, we could bring this brand back to life and make it vital, make it, you know, exciting. We're focused on what we do well. We're trying to do things that are, you know, that we feel really positive about. And we're trying to not get into the weeds of trying to make something that's not us. You know, I want to make bikes that I want to ride. And I'll go out and ride like, you know, our $400 hardtail mountain bike, and you'd be amazed at how good it is. Everybody that works here, and at least in our company, they bought into the concept of making a better bike and making something that they could go out and have fun on. And I think that's what keeps the team going and making better and better bikes.
Pretty incredible view, Chris.
It's a pretty special place we have here, you know, Northern California, the birthplace of modern mountain biking. And you know, one thing that we've done over the years is we've named a vast majority of our models after certain landmarks within Marin County, like Pine Mountain over here.
Which is a bike in the range, right?
Yeah, it's been an iconic trail bike, steel hardtail. Then we also came up from Fairfax today, and we're on our Mount Visions right now. And I mean, everywhere around here, it's peppered with names of, you know, Marin bikes, essentially.
So every bike I've ridden, the name originates from Marin County somewhere.
Alcatraz, San Quentin,
cool.
Mount Vision, yeah.
I like it.
You know, for us, innovation is a key part of what we try to do inside of the bike line. You know, all different aspects of innovation as well. So things like, we can easily point to things like suspension designs, the use of carbon fiber, up-to-date materials, but all the way down the line into our more basic bikes. You know, a lot of the innovation that we're bringing there is more along the lines of great geometry, a lot of high-value features added to the bikes that make them a great riding experience. A lot of the needs and wants are changing in just the way that people are exposed to the ability to use a bike. There's still quite a few different types of bikes, quite a few different types of usages. You know, what we're looking for is how to create the right bike for any given experience. It's all the way from, you know, your first bike ride all the way up through doing aggressive trail riding, gravel riding, road riding. You know, creating those bikes to be the best they can in that space for that rider. We're all products of our environment, so with us having San Francisco just down the street, we do a lot of city bike testing there. We've got the great trails around, so we can you know, get out, test mountain bikes. Really helps the development process.
How is this a medium? So here we have two Marin Mount Visions, same product line, but a decade has passed between this beauty and my current bike. So, I mean, a lot's changed. You can see that like both bikes were the pinnacle of development at the time. I can imagine 10 years ago seeing this on the trail and just thinking how crazy it looks, and now it's the same. They're both like breaking new ground, leading bikes, but a lot has changed. Look at this triple chain ring. What's this, a quad link? Is it a quad link? Yeah, quad link. So that was revolutionary. We've got the Essential bell on there. A carbon seat post that doesn't go up and down, so this lever on the bars on the left does something different, God knows what. Yeah, the rims are like road bike ones, but I actually think I had these very wheels on my first 4-cross bike. Yeah, I guess you have to just remember that 10 years ago this was the bike, and I've now got the equivalent bike, but it is funny. It's like, the tyres look hilarious riding, the stem's long, it's twitchy, things work differently, but to be the best 10 years ago, this was the bike you'd ride, and you've got to remember that.
The Mount Vision has been a cornerstone of the Marin line for so long. It's always really been that quintessential mountain bike, and that's what we wanted the modern Mount Vision to represent, is everything with the heritage of what the Mount Vision brought to the table in terms of just awesome technology, amazing mountain bike. You can go out in the woods and just have a good time. The Mount Vision's all about looking at suspension systems in a new light, using different terminology that we haven't seen before. So, you know, I think a lot of people get upset because we can't explain it, but it's unlike anything you've ever ridden. So that's been really fun, diving in that and seeing how pushing the boundaries of suspension technology and what we can do with it. You know, we're going to continue to respect the rider's needs and make sure that We're looking at every element of that puzzle and doing a damn good job to make sure it's delivering what the riders are looking for and making sure it's better than the rest.
About once a month or so, we like to get out on the trails as a team, just leave work a little bit early on a Friday and go ride over Annandale State Park. It's a really great place for us all to kind of come together, and then of course there's a nice taqueria we can hit at the end. It's a really nice bonding thing we've kind of kick-started over the last few months. Matt, the boss, when he hires people, he really has two rules, and it's no egos and no a-holes. And it's really worked well for us because, we do really gel well together, and we do have a really similar interest in what we do, and that's talking about bikes and being around bikes and selling bikes and just riding. And one thing that is really amazing to me about working for Marin is that we're a pretty small crew, and we all really, we punch above our weight. We really do a lot of stuff, and we have a lot of fun doing it. The crew that we have here is fantastic. We're a couple dozen of very passionate people who care deeply about what we do, and we get along great together and really enjoy it. We're all professionals, so we know what we need to do to get our job done, and we do it well, but we all really enjoy coming to work every day. It's a fun place to be. Marin really is the people, and the people that we have are just stellar.
This trip for me has been, well, two kind of things. Come and ride my bike in California, right? That's amazing. That's always been a goal. I've never come here on bikes, which seems bizarre. I'm a mountain bike rider, and yet place where this sport all started I've never visited, and yeah, here I am. So that's a massive box ticked. But visiting the brand, coming and visit Marin, the team, they really are a small team. I think that's why they can be so dynamic and make quick decisions and react to what people like myself want with bikes, and it's amazing, yeah. There was suddenly this massive injection of ideas and kind of like new concepts, and it was awesome to get involved at that time. And now here I am a few years later, and I think it's rad to be part of such a cool bike company, but more so just part of the family I've met this trip and I've got to know. I'm excited for what the future holds.